Welcome everyone to a casted game for Age of Empires 4, and today, spawning in the northwest corner of the map, playing in blue, we've got Kiljardi playing as the Japanese, and his opponent in the southeast playing in red. We've got, well, I'm going to call him Sheeny. I'm not entirely sure what language that is or what it means, but he's got some English characters, and it says Sheeny, so that's what we'll call him. Got the Ottomans versus the Japanese. Interesting civilization matchup for sure. With, of course, an early military school. Going to be popping out Spearmen nice and early to put some pressure on. And what's kind of interesting about this matchup is the Japanese and the Ottomans, both alike, actually have a really good timing and a really good push. The Ottomans come online with 3 units. They've got a really good timing attack. So do the Japanese. They start to really pump out units with the really good economy they can get with the Daimyo Manor, Daimyo Palace, and the farming economy they can establish themselves with the landmark. And it will be the Curious Storehouse, most likely. We'll have to see. We have to confirm that, of course. Moving out to gold. That's actually really far gold, I gotta say. It is Rocky River, by the way, so kind of interested to see. That's kind of a pressure point for the Ottomans. You might have to be aggressive to try and protect that area. I wonder if Onabukesha could be a big threat from the Japanese. We will have to see. I gotta say, the Ottomans, they've been played a little bit differently these days. We did, I should say, in the past tense. We used to see them being played very heavily in the feudal age, extended feudal ages, but they're not necessarily as strong as they once used to be. Or at least they have a couple of more options available to them. The Japanese, a relatively flexible civilization as well, have a couple of tricks up their sleeves. They have been kind of used as more of a castle age civilization. You know, get the Shinto shrines and whatnot, get the relics in nice and early. They can sometimes play a second town center build. I think it was Demu who actually coined that build, or did pretty well with codifying it, and played it quite a lot in the early stages. And I wonder whether we'll see that played out for Kiljardi today. Either way, I hope you guys are having a great morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Thank you for your support, whether it be on Twitch or YouTube. Hope you guys are doing fantastically well. Bear in mind, by the way, if you did want to watch things live and you're watching on YouTube later, I am streaming live on YouTube as well at the moment. It's on a separate channel, though. I kind of wanted to keep things separate. So I'll leave a link in the video description where you can catch the live streams on YouTube if that's so what you wish. But I'm streaming on Twitch as well, so that could be something you explore if Twitch is something you watch. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Is the Sultanhani trade network? That is not something we see very often at all. Now that's just changed this game completely. Trade. Wait, what? That is not the greatest trade route. Now, of course, he's going to have to place another market in the edge of the map. Although he could... I mean, he's not going to trade to this... He's not going to trade to this one, right? There's just no way. Kind of crazy to see that. Although, I mean, I have to say in one way, whilst it is great having food income through the usual landmark that they go for, the concern is, you know, the sort of harness trade work ultimately it does give you some gold trickling in, and just as you would get passive food from the other landmark, you've got passive gold this time, and always the option to trade. And I did actually get a dock on the right side here, Kiljardi, nicely and early, and bear in mind it's a really cheap fishing ship. Choice here, 45 wood per ship. It's a nice bit of food income. It does mean there's going to be a bit of a relatively delayed tech up, but look at what is going on. It's going for the Cocker Township. All right, well, this is an interesting match already for sure. 2 landmarks we don't often see. The Cocker Township is pretty cool for hybrid maps. I'm not so sure how much of an impact it is on Rocky Canyon. I mean, I guess if he does keep the fishing economy alive for a while, he doesn't necessarily need the farms. It's definitely an interesting choice. The Spearman being a bit annoying, but if he does get a galley out, he'll be fine, or he could just wait for the Shinobi to be fair. That's probably what he's going to end up doing. But what is going on with the Sultanhani trade network? That is not something I expected to see today. There is that feudal age with the Cocker Township. Shinobi will take a while though to come on in. 14 seconds or so before the first one pops out. He's actually focusing on the fishing ships actually, which is is kind of okay for kiljardi. It makes a lot more of a difference with going for the dock, but he's probably not feeling too confident about taking the dock. Probably just relying on kiljardi just to miss micro, or at least he's actually keeping some idles for a couple of seconds. But of course they are being healed up by the dock. Alright, Shinobi heading on forward. He's disguised as well. Likely to well, not sabotage, just going to shin and just try and take out the enemy spearman. There it is. Going to start the fight off. By the way, the Shinobi actually really good at fighting. I mean, they're going to do a lot of damage to the spearman. Would he lose that? He's going to be given life for now. So yeah, spearmen have to back away, even though there are 3 of them. So, I mean, I think to be fair, it's probably worth it. I mean, this landmark has worked well for him already. Keeping the fishing economy alive. The great thing as well, you can actually get up to 10 traders inside of this. I don't think it used to be that many, and at least not on launch of the Ottoman civilization. But of course, it's a landmark that you don't often see, and so it makes a lot of sense to have more slots in there just to try and encourage people to use it. It does lose 1 spearman because of the Shin. It's very difficult to escape here. It's going to lose another one most likely. Yeah, the movement speed just a little bit better. Strikes him down. And 2 spearmen down. He's actually going for Yumi Ashigaru as well. A unit that's actually relatively cheap. 30 food, 35 wood, and a decent movement speed on them. It's going to look to spam through and really pile on some pressure in the feudal age. We talked about possibly going for the castle for the Japanese as a playstyle, but not today. It's going to commit to an extended feudal age with double archery range production. Looking pretty solid on that. And with that map control, by the way, that could put him in a really strong position. Might even think about getting another dock. Back at home, no production building. Double military school opening for the Ottomans. That's kind of greedy, actually. Because it's going to start to be overrun a little bit. Kiljardi going to put some pressure. That's for sure. Ottomans having to back away around the back. The good thing he's got the palisades. Now, I'm not entirely sure. Do the Shinobi, can they actually shin across the other side? They used to be able to. I'm not so sure if that's been patched or not. It's going to be stable opening for Sabahi. But he needs units. He needs it fast. They can still do it? Okay. That's kind of good to know. So it was a feature rather than a bug. I thought I saw that they patched it, but I'm not 100% sure. But there we go. The fact that they could shin across would be a cool feature, to be fair. Adding in 2 archer ranges to go alongside the stable, but yeah, he's 23 miniature versus 5. This is a tricky situation. I mean, with this amount of pressure coming in for Kiljardi, I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe siege engineering, and that's exactly what's happened. Look at that. 15 seconds away. And with the wood economy he's got, he's going to be able to build it with the Yumi Ashigaru. This is a problem for the Ottomans. It's not very often you see the Ottomans under this amount of pressure this early on. It's usually the other way around. The Japanese, are they a secret feudal age civilization? Quite possibly. At least Kiljardi is playing them that way. Scout just being a bit annoying. Shinobi Yumi Ashigaru. Because he continues to produce. Interesting army composition, I gotta say. It's actually the Shinobi making up the ram. It's not a sight you see every day. Yumi Ashigaru making the others. This is going to be a hard hold for the Ottomans. Does have some units building up. I would love to see a meta though. It's got a decent number of archers. Just needs that attack speed if he can get it. Moving out. He will see the rams soon. Yumi Ashigaru though, they're chasing. Oh, that's a problem for the Ottomans. They're going to be outnumbered and there's no way. I mean, the Shin should come out for the Shinobi to get on top of that, and there's not really going to be too much of an escape from this. You're just going to have to trade as best as you can. Rams working their magic behind all of this, and it's certainly a problem. The Ottomans are under so much pressure. How does he deal with this? Now, he will still continue to have gold, but doesn't necessarily help him all that much. I mean, he will be able to get some upgrades with that. Gonna add in another stable. It needs to make sure it doesn't take any bad trades. 13 villages idle inside the town centre. The economy technically will be on paper stronger, at least in terms of raw numbers, but if they're idle like that, then the gathering in practicality would just be better for the Japanese, especially when you consider he does have that dock still working for him. Continues to trickle in more units. This is a crazy Japanese strategy, I gotta say. Spy gonna charge down on the ram. Loses one. Yashigaru numbers looking good. Does have steel arrows as well, which definitely helps. The shinobi a little bit slow to the fight, but they do get involved now. Needs to be careful not to dive in too much here, kiljardi. Lost the 2 rams. Gonna make another. Now, the kind of cool thing actually though for this playstyle with the Sultan Hardy trade network, it continues to get gold, so he will be able to afford the castle age at some point. And the question is, I say at some point, because he's going to struggle on food. He does have some sheep there, so maybe he went for the Vizier Point, the Anatolian Hills to get it. 2 rams pushing on in. And the Yashigaru numbers looking so solid for kiljardi. He's struggling to get close. Scout number of HP on that guy is pretty limited now. 16 HP on him. Sabai about to dive on in. Now the Sabai definitely a good unit for this. He needs to try and focus on the shinobi though first if he can. The ram's body blocking quite heavily. And now with the meta, actually 2 of them, that's going to be helpful for the attack speed. Sabai diving on top of that. There's a good number of Yashigaru. I mean, this could be a hold actually. This could be a decent hold if villagers come out to torch down the rams. We shall see. Shinobi number still looking pretty decent. I'm surprised that I didn't see a sabotage coming up from the shinobi on the landmark. Didn't want to get too close, but I think actually this is a good hold for the Ottomans. He's timed it to perfection. Kiljardi loses 1 ram. And I don't think Yashigaru can hold this. It's just Sipahi, the defender's advantage. He's held. That's massive. He lost a couple of houses, lost a couple of mining camps, but other than that, he's held on incredibly well. The ram will go down. And he's going to have to reset. The Japanese, though, heading into a second town centre play. Fishing ships deleted from the stock. No more fish to be had there. And this is where things become really interesting, right? Because he had a really good push with the Cocker Township, but at one point, the Cocker Township just doesn't give you any more value now, right? The units don't scale. The shinobi just don't feel like they're really relevant past 10 minutes. And we're seeing it right now. Like, if he had the Cura storehouse, the food income would be just through the roof. It's not terrible at the moment, but he's going to need a farming transition at some point. It does have the town centre on the deer camp and berries, so that some point will be a bit more down the line. He could be punished here. Going for the castle age with the floating gate landmark with 2 town centres is going to be hard to afford units. The Ottomans, they get units for free. He spots the second town centre as well, so that could be a focal point to attack with. How's it going, Lamet? Hope you're doing well, buddy, in Twitch chat. Welcome on in. There is that castle age now. I wonder where the Ottomans start to put some pressure. What does he think about going to the castle age? I mean, he's just nowhere near the castle age himself, right? He's going for the deer camp on the right side with an outpost being built. He needs that food quick time. One thing to be considering though, the map position that the Ottomans do have with 33 military units, he could play it into the stage where he wants to just buy some time, get to the castle age. I think it would be a mistake though, because he is up against a 2-town set of Japanese. He can't really let this go unpunished, especially with the castle age units coming out soon. So he's going to go for the rams and pump out some military. I suspect we'll see the Ottomans in the feudal age for quite some time. The problem for that is that kiljardi, once he does start to get the mounted samurai numbers up, that's going to be tough to deal with. First mounted samurai making his way across the map. Oh, heading back actually. He recognises he's going to be punished soon or being pushed soon. Now the ram focusing on the second town centre. This is always a risk, by the way, with the second town centre. It doesn't... It's not the strongest unit or strongest building. 2,500 HP. More importantly, there's only 7 garrisonable spots, so the villagers can't really do too much in terms of arrow fire. So the town centre is pretty much going to go down at this point. Very minimal military here for kiljardi. Could get some raiding value though with these mounted samurai. That's probably what he's got to do, right? He's got to make sure that he keeps pumping out units back at home though, because the Rams will start to then push on to the main base. And there are the mounted samurai moving on in. Farming transition coming in for the Ottomans. Not the most ideal timing, but the castle age won't be too far away. And they've got a decent standing army, but he's got to find a way to deal with this. 5 mounted samurai doesn't sound like a lot, but actually in reality it's quite devastating. You'll see he's going to get a lot of damage. So potentially are the Ottomans. It's going to be the Mehmed Imperial Armory, a bit more of a standard approach in terms of landmark choice for the castle age, understandably so, but look at the damage that doesn't get done. That just doesn't get done to these mounted samurai. They're going to be hiding around the town centre for a very long time. He's got the Daimyo Palace. Oh, that's such a good structure to have at this point. An extra arrow slip. Extra HP. And, I mean, he's diving in this heavily, but you can do that against some civilizations, but the Japanese aren't really one that you can do it with. He's taking the fight. Sabahi dwindling in numbers. Archers trying to focus on the Shinto priest and trying to focus on the Yumi Ashigaru, but back at home, look at that. The economy being idled in a big way. And it's going to get to the castle age, but with what economy behind it, it's mostly idled. Rams, though, they are doing some significant damage. Taking out production facilities is definitely worthwhile. But I love the fact he's got 2 stables at the back. That's actually really important for this. And the archer number is going to dwindle. I mean, these archers are gone now. That's unfortunate for the Ottomans. Potentially overextended a little bit. Village coming out on the west side. Wait, where are they off to? To the berries? Okay. Well, he's definitely wanting the food. Going for the Mehmed Imperial Armory on the right side. And if that gets overrun, that would not be ideal. Now the samurai getting on top of the archers. Here comes some more. So it's going to clear up the archers in a big way. But now with the castle age in, all of a sudden the pendulum has swung. It's now to the turn for the Japanese to be a bit more aggressive and start to overwhelm a little bit. The Ottomans, the hard farming transition, could do well to get some palisades, but some static defenses, some way to try and defend. Janissaries is a really good option. Of course, a really hard counter to the cavalry. The Japanese will need to find another way to deal with this. Janissaries, if they can get on top of these guys, rip through them, and palisades will be a good way actually to try and narrow the angle of approach for the Ottomans against the Japanese. But it looks like the Japanese might go to the villagers here on Deer Camp. The Janissaries need to get. I mean, he's got an option to either bring the villagers back home or garrison inside. Going to garrison inside. The Janissaries need to be here quick time. Still a good number of man. Oh my god, look how. God, jeez. Those Janissaries, man. They absolutely wreck the mounted samurai. They got absolutely melted. 2 of them. Oh, villagers popped out a little bit too early. He lost one there. A bit sloppy there. From Sheeny. The good thing for the cavalry, though. Of course, we've got the movement speed, so he can back on up. The Japanese behind this. Kiljardi's got 2 relics to his name already. That's definitely making the early castle age worthwhile. That's a lot of berries being taken quickly. 15 villagers on that. Holy moly. Now, the Ottomans, a civilization that adhere to the Islamic tradition, can't take the huntable boar. Could potentially sneak out of the deer camp here, but I suspect that won't happen. Might just go down here instead for the 3 deer carcasses, or 3 deer that are remaining there. Mounted samurai going to pressure in. There aren't any Janissaries here, though, to fight these off, and they're actually going to get a good engagement here for kiljardi. He's going up against some spearmen, though, which is not ideal, but if he can take those out, he will win the rest of the fight. Wait, where are the Janissaries? They're being pulled back now, but they're just kind of slow to the fight. Got plenty of food. Not enough gold. Is he thinking about Imperial Age? Surely not, right? He's floating a lot of food, though. A couple of villages going down. Has killed 14 so far. The Japanese do this so well with the raiding units. Mounted samurai, perfect for that. We'll get trapped, though, potentially here. Yeah, I think he will get trapped, but I think the value's been had. 1 relic being brought up by the Ottomans. 3 already in the bank for the Japanese. 4th one on the way. Yeah, and he is trapped now. They get melted, but they did a lot of damage earlier on. So it's probably worth it. Able to take 2... That's a lot of berries actually on this side. Gonna make the most of it. The Japanese adding some siege workshops, and that's a lot of that's coming down to the fact that the Ottomans, with the Mevan Imperial Armory, it forces this out of them. Mangonel's coming out for free, of course, and the enemies have to address that somehow. If it's not with military units other than siege, it's got to be siege. It's got to be one of the two. In fact, he's going to go for gold. Yeah, he needs gold. It looks like it's the Imperial Age. He's opting for it. The Ottomans do have a mean Imperial Age, with the Great Bombard being producible, or trainable, buildable. But this could be a good engagement for the Japanese, I gotta say. Moving forward with a couple of mounted samurai, Spearman Brace, but Janissary is going to rip through those. All that remains after that is the Yumi Ashigaru, which actually is a problem because the Lancers there for the Ottomans will chase them down and take them out. This is what's a bit tricky for the Japanese. They can't really rely on cavalry, not that they tend to often anyway. There's definitely going to have to be a focus on infantry, man-at-arms, or just regular samurai could be an option. Hanging out in the stealth forest, could deploy, might bait him in. Yumi Ashigaru, don't take the bait though. The Shinto priest dies a painful death. Can't even be recognized in the ground anymore. It looks like kiljardi kind of think about getting some stone for a keep. Does have the Yorishiro deposited in the siege workshop, so that's going to be producing it really, really fast. 200% attack movement production speed. 13 seconds for a mangonel. That's insanely fast. Not that he can afford it. Struggling on gold, really. It's grouping up together. Large army for kiljardi. I think maybe he's expecting the Ottomans to go for the Imperial Age and he was going to push as soon as he gets there. Always an option, although it seems like the Ottomans not too keen on it just yet. He is still committing to military units, and whilst it's flooding a lot of food, maybe he's not thinking about the Imperial Age. I mean, it feels like it with the number of villages on gold and how much food and gold he does have stacked up, but he maybe doesn't want to commit too early. He needs an army to be able to defend himself. Kiljardi is producing really quickly, courtesy of the Yorishiro inside the siege workshop. And the multiple archery ranges. Yumi Ashigaru, a lot of them. We're putting some pressure on the west side. Sheeny with a couple of lancers. But it's just out to repair. Doesn't have any emplacements, by the way, so mostly just buying some time. Heading around the back, but cavalry will be taken care of by the Janissaries. Here come the Onamusha. I like that unit up against the Lancers. They'll definitely pack a punch. But again, the Janissaries might rip through them pretty quickly. Two mangonels for the Ottomans. It looks like he's biding some time. Yeah, he's opting to go for the Imperial Age. It's got to be, right? There it is. It's going to be the Istanbul Observatory. No real surprises. But once he does get there, will he have an economy to be able to get him some upgrades? We'll have to see. Only 700 food per minute coming on in. Once he does get there, the Japanese army might start to put some pressure. Snipes out the imam. Oh, massive mangonel shot there on the Onamusha. A lot of them are half health now. I'm having to back away. That was a crazy shot for the mangonels. It is the quiet before the storm. You get the sensation or the feeling that there's going to be a big fight very soon. All having something, the Japanese probably going to go to the Imperial Age themselves. Yeah, it's going to be the Tanegashima gunsmith. A bit more of a traditional approach choice for the Imperial Age. That's going to give him access to the Azutsu. Can't wait to see them guys out. Probably will see them out. We'll have to see though. The Ottomans, though, now in the Imperial Age, I'm sure he would have toggled his Mehmed Imperial army into bombards. He's now walling up on the right side, but gold is going to become an issue. Does have the 4,000 gold vein here to take. Also one here on the west side, on both sides of the map, to try and get hold of. In terms of 8,000 gold veins, there's one here on the right, one on the left. Half taken on the left here for the Ottomans already, nice and early. And there is that now Imperial Age coming in for the Japanese, riding in with a couple of Onimusha, but has been walled out. Riding in with a couple of Lancers on the northeast side, trying to get some raiding value potentially here. We'll have to see what it can achieve. Well, the position's given away by deactivating the Sacred Site. Will the Japanese respond to that? Sending the Onimusha, it seems. Definitely a calm before the storm. Both players playing it relatively passively, wanting those Imperial Age upgrades before they engage. As I say that though, the Ottomans taking a good fight, taking out a couple of mounted samurai, but the Onimusha will clear this up as well. Getting some good damage, and the mounted samurai has a good meat shield. Onimusha will take care of the rest. He lost quite a lot there in a blink of an eye. A couple of lancers, possibly going for the villagers. Is going to get the emplacement, spring on emplacement. Definitely a very cost-effective defensive structure, by the way. 50 gold, 125 stone. And it definitely packs a punch, even against cavalry. Right, looks like the Ottomans about to move out with elite janissaries, a couple of spearmen, a couple of mangonels. And Japanese are heading towards population capping. 200, 189 at the moment. How's it going, Slinky Bopper on the YouTube side of things? Welcome on in. Good morning, good morning. It's a morning for me as well. I'm guessing you might be in Europe? There's a second town center coming from the Ottomans actually, booming up a little bit behind this and maybe looking to play the late game, which actually, to be fair, I mean, both civilizations have a decent late game, but I gotta say the Great Bombards, when they group together, and there's a bunch of them, it's a force. I find the Ottomans very difficult to deal with. When you've got the siege behind, you've got the Janissaries, means that cavalry is a no-go. It's always tricky to deal with. The splash damage from the Great Bombards, a really effective mechanic for them. Trying to get a keep on the middle of the map, trying to shore up that area, but can be met up with the Japanese resistance in the middle. Oh, the villagers, does he know about it? He's got to pull those villagers back. There's the engagement. Mangonels deploying. Yumi Ashigaru firing away. Spearmen taking that front line. Janissaries in behind. There's a lot of siege, anti-siege coming in, but look at the Great Bombard pretty much one-shotting those Springords. I'm going to see another shot firing off. There it goes. Springords going down, but leaves the Yumi Ashigaru pretty exposed. Not much of a front line. Janissaries will be taken apart by the Yumi Ashigaru, but there are Mangonels getting a massive Mangonel shot, and unfortunately, it does look like Kiljardi is going to have to back away. The threat of those Mangonels is looking devastating, but he does have one of his own, to be fair. Villagers, where are they off to? There's no way he can commit to that now. There's too many Yumi Ashigaru. True Great Bombards trying to snuff out the Mangonel there. Will he get it in the end? I don't think so. He does manage to retreat. Overall, I think it was a good fight for Kiljardi. I'm surprised he's not pushing further forward. I think there's a Mangonel, sure, but it felt like maybe he could have ran into the minimum attack range and could have taken a really good fight there. But either way, he's backed off and allows the Ottomans now to establish that keep. Protect that area. Ah, Slinky Bopper is actually in the USA, Minnesota. I oftentimes forget that. Interesting. Must be super early. I often forget that live stream VODs in YouTube get catalogued under the live tab and not under the main videos tab. Perhaps remind us via the community posts that show in our regular subscriptions. That could be pretty helpful actually, yeah. That's a fair point. But by the way, Slinky Bopper, because I'm streaming on YouTube on a new channel, are you actually subscribed to the main channel as well? Because I've separated them. So I've got the main Age of Empires 4 channel now as a VOD thing where I only upload the very best Age of Empires 4 games that I've casted. Because I don't want to post any random ones on that. And then I created a new separate YouTube channel for the live streams. Because I wanted to separate them out. Make sure that people only get shown what they wanted to see. Feed would help. Let's find them. Yeah, true. I should probably mention that as well. What I'll do as well, I'll catalog all the live streams on the... Oh, that's a good idea, actually. Maybe I can put a playlist on the main page of my regular Age of Empires 4 channel. So whilst you won't get notifications of them, you'll be able to see them on the homepage if you're interested. But to be fair, I'll probably just encourage people to follow the live stream channel. They're just coming out for another couple of outposts on the stone. He really wants that. 3 Great Bombards, Janissary Spearmen, and that front line. But kiljardi, look at the military numbers he's got. It's actually kind of crazy. 181 population. Mostly Yumashigara, but adding in some of the samurai. Elite samurai as well. That's looking good. Great Bombards, though, might make short work of that with the splash damage. There is a mangonel there diced in. Or 2. But the samurai, if they can gap close on top of the siege, that'll be helpful. Village coming out to repair. This could be a massive fight in the game. Samurai jumping on top of the Great Bombards. The Ottomans overextend a little bit. Villagers about to die and get hacked and slashed by the samurai. Just too much there. It does have another Great Bombard added into the fight, but I think without meat shield protecting, it's going to be dangerous now. A lot of the Yumi Ashigaros are going to be weakened by the splash damage. A lot of them do go down, actually. And samurai, I mean, they're trying to fight this off, but he's preparing this. Maybe the Ottomans didn't overextend in the end, and it's going to be a relatively equal trade. There are a couple of Azutsu still for the Japanese, but it's still a fight that I think maybe the Ottomans will come out on top of. Despite it not seeming that way for a long time, but look at that. The villagers repairing the Great Bombards, keeping them alive, and somehow the Ottomans actually survived that. That was crazy. Villagers on the west side having to retreat for now. Probably a good idea. Trying to get the gold on the east side. But certainly gold going to become a concern for both players. Bear in mind that the Japanese do have 4 relics, and they do have the opportunity to get the Yorishiro inside the forge to gather more gold. Don't think he's done that, though. There's another bombard added to the mix. I mean, the Ottomans, this is the issue, right? Oh god, that's a massive mangonel shot. I'm glad we saw that. Holy smokes. And the samurai going to deal with the rest of them, although they've got pretty good movement speed. Oh, another mangonel shot. Oh god, jeez, lose. At least 6 of them died in a quick succession, and those villagers are so weak at the moment. But 2 bombards. Oh no, he might lose them. Kind of exposed. Janissary's getting surrounded. Bombards probably will survive. Mangonel shot on the samurai, but again, the samurai are probably pretty tanky. They should be able to hold. We see the elite lancers coming on in for the Ottomans. I love that play, by the way, actually, against the samurai. It could work well. Villagers here to repair. This could be massive if he can do what he did before. Villagers need to get on top of that. The bombard. Oh god, he does go down in the end. One goes down. The other one, will he click on it? Will he get it repaired? He doesn't, and he does lose that as well. That's a massive pick off. The Ozutsu on the back line for the Japanese are now starting to reign supreme. Look at that, 61 minutes to 4. I think the Ottomans now might be down and out. I mean, the army numbers look for kiljardi. Look at it. It's absolutely phenomenal. He's heading on forward. Population down to less than 100 for Sheeny. The samurai about to challenge for those 2 mangonels now. That's expensive losses if they do go down. I say if, but they probably should go down. And the samurai going to take him out. He splits them off, and a couple of elite lancers going to try and save that mangonel, but it doesn't quite manage it. It's going to lose the Great Bombard as well. And look at the Zutsu numbers for the Japanese. They're firing off, and there it is, ladies and gentlemen. The push from the Japanese just a little bit too strong for the Ottomans today. A great demonstration of how the Ottomans can actually be countered. We don't see it all that often. But I hope you guys enjoyed this casted game on YouTube. If you did, make sure you give the video a thumbs up. Take care, and see you next time.